This is all chant loudly, meditate on what the bhajan is saying, meditate on Radharani. Oh pyari, 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 pyari barsane wali. Oh pyari, प्यारी मैं तो वारी 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 प्यारी मैं तो वारी वारी बरसाने वारी प्यारी वृषभानु दुलारी प्यारी बरसाने वाली प्यारी वृषभानु दुलारी प्यारी ओ प्यारी 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 बरसाने वाली ओ प्यारी 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 बरसाने वाली नत बेसरवारी प्यारी अति भोली भारी प्यारी नत बेसरवारी प्यारी अति भोली भारी प्यारी कोई रोकर कह मम प्यारी तेही उर्लावती सुकुमारी कोई रोकर कह मम प्यारी तेही उर्लावती सुकुमारी जोई रोकर कह मम प्यारी तेही उर्लावती सुकुमारी जोई रोकर कह मम प्यारी तेही उर्लावती सुकुमारी ओ प्यारी 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 बरसाने वाली ओ प्यारी 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 बरसाने वाली तेरो निज सेवा प्यारी नहीं चाहत पदारथ चारी तेरो निज सेवा प्यारी नहीं चाहत पदारथ चारी तुम करुणा की अवतारी बलिहारी तब बलिहारी तुम करुणा की अवतारी बलिहारी तब बलिहारी तुम अति कृपालु महतारी, सुधिले हो हमारी प्यारी। 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 ओ प्यारी 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 बरसाने वाली, ओ प्यारी 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 बरसाने वाली। श्री राधा रानी की जय। Now, please be very attentive and listen very carefully. We go back again at the beginning of Gita, where Arjuna is very confused. Seeing Shri Krishna, after they had signaled the start of the war, everyone has blown the shank, bugle, and the war is about to begin. Arjuna asks Shri Krishna to put the chariot in the middle between the two armies. Why? He wanted to see. Seeing on the other side his relatives, friends, elders, teachers, etc., Arjuna became faint-hearted. He threw down the bow and arrow and said, "I'm not going to fight." Shri Krishna asked why. He said, "My teachers, my elders, my relatives, my gurus are going to die in this war. Women will become widows, children will become orphans. It's a very bad action. I'm definitely going to hell." Then he says, "Karpanya dosho pahata svabhava, prichhami tvam dharma samura cheta, yache yasya nishtam bruhi tanme, shishyasteham shadhimam tvam prapannam." Chapter 2, verse 7, Gita. Please guide me, hey Krishna, please guide me. For I am unable to decide on the right course of action due to the extreme bewilderment of my mind. I seek your guidance as your fully surrendered disciple. Shishyasteham shadhimam tvam prapanna. Prapanna, fully surrendered. Shri Krishna said, "Okay, ठीक है, listen. अथ चेत् त्वमिमं धर्म्यं संग्रामं न करिष्यसि, ततः स्वधर्मं कीर्तं च हित्वा पापमवाप्स्यसि." Chapter 2, verse 33, Gita. Arjuna, if you do not fight this war, because you are Kshatri, a member of the warrior clan, it's your duty to fight this war as a Kshatri. And if you don't perform your duty, you don't fight the war, you will go to hell. Anyone who does not perform their duty, they will go to hell. You will get dishonor. You will lose all your fame, your glory, everything. Okay. Arjuna said, okay, if I don't fight the war, I go to hell. What happens if I fight the war? Hato va praptasi swargam jitva va bhokshase mahi. Chapter 2, verse 37, Gita. If you fight the war, two things will happen. Either you will die fighting this war, or you'll be victorious, you'll win. If you die, hatova, you die while fighting this war, you will go to heaven, swarg, you'll attain heaven. And if you're victorious, jitva, you become mahim, you become king of the whole world. Either way you emerge a winner, as one is bound to happen. And if you remember, I discussed in detail the first day about heaven. Detail. The performance of righteous action, duty, varnashram, dharma, Vedic rites and rituals, etc. will give us heaven. Of course, there are rules and regulations, six conditions to fulfill, and all impossible in Kali. But if one can do, he acquires punya, spiritual merits, which will determine which heaven you go to and for how long. But having gone here, what happens? Shri Krishna says, Tetam bhuktva swargalokam vishalam kshine punye martyalokam vishanti evam taidham anupapanna katagatam kama kama labhante. Chapter 9, verse 21, Gita. Having gone to heaven, performance of dharma, righteous action, etc., we'll go to heaven. But once we start enjoying the pleasures of heaven, what happens? Kshine punya. That punya starts destroying as you enjoy. One day is going to finish, zero. And then what will happen? Martyalokam vishanti will be kicked out. And according to the Vedas, Mundak Upanishad, first Mundak, second Kan, 10th mantra, Hi nataram va vishanti will be thrown into lower forms of life, dog, cat, donkey, worm, grass, tree. Bhagwan Shri Ram says in the Ramayana, Anta dukhadai ehi tan kar pal vishaya na bhai swargahu swalpa anta dukhadai. After going to heaven, where there's no true happiness, you enjoy for a while and then you're going to suffer because you'll be thrown into lower forms of life. Very few understand. We call ourselves Hindus and we have no idea what happens there. Our aim, according to Sanatana Dharma, is not heaven. We have been there uncountable times. Uncountable. We enjoy for a few days and come back right here and suffer. Uncountable times we have been to heaven. Uncountable times we have been to hell. Uncountable times we have rotated in 8.4 million forms of life. The only way to finish that, we have to attain God realization. We have to become free from Maya. Shri Krishna is saying in Gita, Daivi Hesha Gunamai Mama Maya Duratyaya Mame Vaye Prapadyante Maya Metantarantite. Chapter 7, verse 14, Gita. He says Maya is a divine power, Daivi Hesha. Why? He says, Mama Maya, it's a power that belongs to God, to Shri Krishna. It is His power. So it's divine. Therefore, no one, no Rishi, Muni, Yogi, Jnani, can cross Maya by their own effort. How to become free? Shri Krishna says, only, Mamev, Ev means only. Only the one who completely surrenders to Shri Krishna. Then Shri Krishna will say to Maya, okay Maya, leave that one, they belong to me. Then Maya will go. And once Maya leaves us, it's forever. Maya can never affect us again. So, Arjun says, it means I have to avoid heaven also, there's nothing there. And I need not ask about the pleasures of this material world, as I've enjoyed them during my kingship. And I know for a fact, there's not even the tiniest drop of happiness to be found in the material world, true happiness. So, I am trapped on all sides. If I refuse to fight the war, I go to hell. If I don't do my dharma. If I fight the war, I either go to heaven or I attain the material world. All three are bondage. One is a golden jail, heaven. One is a steel jail, the material world. And one is iron jail, heaven. All jail. So I face anyway I face bondage. Shri Krishna says, yes, Arjun, this is what I am saying to you. Do not do good and do not do bad. What do you mean? Do not perform the action of fighting the war. Do not perform the action of not fighting the war. And fight the war. Yuddha. What kind of puzzle is this? Arjuna asks Shri Krishna. Shri Krishna says, Arjuna, the one who solves this puzzle becomes eternally gratified. So you mean I should do nothing? Yes. Yes, Arjuna. But you yourself have said in Gita, Nahi kashchit kshanamapi jatu tishthatya karmakrit. Chapter 3, verse 5, Gita. No one can remain inactive even for a moment. So how do we attain the state of complete inactivity? Shri Krishna says to Arjuna, last chapter of the Gita, Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam braja. Chapter 18, verse 6 Gita. Renounce all duties, all dharma, and take shelter in me alone. Surrender to me. Arjuna said, but Krishna, I have told you that I am your fully surrendered disciple. Shishyasteham shadhimam tvam prapanna. Yes, chapter 2, verse 7. Yes, Arjuna, you did say that. But at that time, there was something wrong. At that time, you were afraid of dharma. You are afraid of violating your moral and ethical duties. Now I am telling you, renounce both dharmas as well as adharma. Dharma means dharma plus adharma. Virtue as well as vice. Renounce all and take shelter in me alone. Arjuna said, but you have spoke so much about dharma, duty. If I don't perform my duty, will I not have to go to hell? Narak. Shri Krishna says yes. If you don't surrender to me, you don't take shelter in me, in God, and you do not perform your duty also, definitely you are going to hell. But the moment we take shelter in Shri Krishna, we surrender, we take shelter in Him, Shri Krishna says, I will take care of all the responsibility on my shoulder. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishami ma sucha. Chapter 18, verse 66, Gita, second line. Don't worry, I will do everything for you. I will take care of all your duty, dharma, rin, so many debts we owe. I will do everything. And if you perform any sin, I will free you from that. Sarva papebhyo. And I will give you everything divine. But only if you take shelter in me, you surrender to me. So surrender means complete inactivity. Look, if there's a war going on, two countries are fighting, and the army of one country surrenders to the country, the enemy, what it means? They can't do anything. If a businessman is seeing hard times, maybe because of COVID, and he declares bankruptcy to the government, what it means? He can't do anything. So this complete inactivity is the condition for attaining God's grace. To do nothing. Look, a newborn child can do nothing for itself. And the mother does everything. Cleans the child, bathe the child, feed, everything the mother does. But when the child starts growing up and starts doing things for itself, the mother too starts lessening her responsibilities in the same amount. Until one day the child does everything for himself. Gets up by himself, herself, goes to the toilet, brush the teeth, take a breakfast, or make the breakfast, go to school by himself, come back, everything. And if one day the father comes home and says, where's Ramesh? Why didn't he come home as yet? Oh, he's become a loafer now. He must be hanging out with friends. But that same Ramesh, when he was 5 years old and was only 5 minutes late from school, both parents panicked and ran off looking for him. Oh my God, I hope he didn't get an accident. I hope someone didn't kidnap him. The point is, as long as we are the doers, as long as there is the pride that I am the performer of the action, God also does. But only the work of noting down our thoughts and ideas and rewarding or punishing us accordingly. But the moment we start surrendering to Shri Krishna, He too starts showering His grace upon us in the same amount. We surrender 1%, He showers 1% grace. 10%, 10% grace. 50%, 50% grace, Kripa. 100%, in other words, complete surrender. Mam ekam sharanam braj. Then God, the divine law, comes in front. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma suchaha tesham nitya bhayuktanam yogakshemam bhavyaham. Bhagwan, the Lord now takes our full responsibility on His shoulder. Full responsibility. Just like a newborn child, the mother takes complete care, the Lord too takes full care. Karahu sada tin kai rakhwari. Jimmy balak rakhari mahatari. Just as a mother takes care of a newborn child. Full care. But the surrender has to be complete. If there's a little lack in our surrender equal to the breath of a single strand of hair, God does not shower His grace 100%. Example will help. You have all heard the katha of Draupadi. Draupadi was the wife of the Pandavas. Draupadi once laughed at Duryodhana. Such a palace was built and there seemed to be water, but there was no water. Duryodhana was walking and he thought there was something and he slipped. Almost fell down to the ground. And Draupadi started laughing really loudly. Duryodhana felt very insulted. And he kept it in his mind that one day I will take revenge. One day I'm going to take revenge. And now the Pandavas had lost Draupadi in a game of dice. Dushashan grabbed Draupadi by the hair and started dragging her, pulling her. I'm going to take you into court and disrobe you in front of everyone. See who's going to protect you. Draupadi thought, when I have 5 husbands sitting here, what's the need for Bhagavan? Yudhishthir, Bhimsen, Arjun, Nakul and Sahadev. And each one so powerful. No one in the whole universe could hope to compete with them. They were taught both a spiritual man and physical man. Draupadi thought, who does Dushashan think he is? Let him try to disrobe me. Bhimsen is going to break every teeth in his mouth. Every tooth. But when she looked towards Bhimsen, that come and help me, Bhim put his head down. Okay, she thought. It's all right. Arjun, the one who holds the Gandhi bow, he will fix this Dushashan. And she looked at Arjun, he put his head down. One by one, each husband put their head down. They lost her. They no longer had the right to protect her. Draupadi now looked towards the elders of the court. Dhritarashtra, Bhishma Pitamaha, Dronacharya, etc. But they also put their head down as they no longer had the right to protect her. Draupadi is thinking in her mind, what the saints and scriptures have said is true. Everyone is selfish. Sarva swartham samihate, they think about themselves only. Now while this is going on, Shri Krishna was in Dwarika. He was eating. He was having lunch. And he was being served by his maid queen, Rukmini, Mahalakshmi herself. And so he's eating and suddenly he takes a morsel of food, he's about to put in the mouth, and he goes like this. He doesn't swallow the food in the mouth. He doesn't put the other morsel that he has in the hand in the mouth, nor put it down. He remains like this. Rukmini became very perturbed. She panicked. Oh my God, she's thinking. What happened? Maybe there's a stone in the rice, in the dal. Happens. Maybe a hair. She says, my Lord, what happened? Oh, Rukmini, my devotee is in grave danger. Why don't you go and help the devotee? Rukmini said. Shri Krishna said, she hasn't completely surrendered to me as yet. Now back to Hastinapur. Dushashan, see nobody is going to come forward. He says, since nobody here is going to help you, I'm going to disrobe you right here, right now in front of everyone. Draupadi decided to protect her honor by catching the edge of the sari between her teeth. But when Dushashan, who had the strength of 10,000 elephants, gave one jerk, out came the sari. It was now that Draupadi remembered there was one to save her. Her Lord Shri Krishna. Up went the hand. Ha Nath Dwarikavasin. This was the moment of complete surrender. She no longer had faith in anyone or anything, not even in her own self. 100% surrender. Immediately there was Ambara Avatar, a special descension of Shri Krishna. He himself became cloth, a clothes. He became a sari, Ambara Avatar. And Dushashan kept pulling, and the sari kept extending, and try as he might, he could not disrobe Draupadi. This is how kind, how loving, how merciful our Lord is. For doing nothing, He's going to give us everything. He says, look, become quiet. Chup ho jao. Yes, become quiet. Let me do the talking. This is a divine law. God says, when you do nothing, I will do everything for you. And when you do kuch, something, I will do nothing. I will just reward or punish you accordingly. Now, how do we surrender? What do we surrender? This is very important. We have to surrender. This is the thing. What to surrender? This is very important, as this is greatly misunderstood. We'll look at that, we'll do another bhajan, and then we'll get the answer. Yugal Shatak, number 84. Radhe Radhe Govind Radhe 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 Govind Radhe 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 Govind Radhe 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 Govind तुम्ही नहीं भूलो मोहि पल छिन आजे तुम्ही नहीं भूलो मोहि पल छिन आजे मैं भी न भूलूं तो ही राधे 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 मैं भी न भूलूं तो ही राधे 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 तुम बिनु जियो नहीं पल तुम बिनु जियो नहीं एक छिन राधे तुम बिनु जियो नहीं एक छिन राधे एक छिन राधे एक छिन राधे ओ इत छिन राधे तुम बिनु जियो नहीं एक छिन राधे तुम बिनु जियो नहीं एक छिन राधे ऐसे बना दे मोरी राधे 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 ऐसी बना दे मोरी राधे 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 पतित जनन हित तो हित जिराधे और हो तो बता दे राधे 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 और हो तो बता दे राधे 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 ओ राधे राधे गोविंद राधे 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 गोविंद राधे 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 मुझसे पतित यदि होते नहीं राधे मुझसे पतित यदि होते नहीं राधे तेरे द्वार आता कौन राधे 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 तेरे द्वार आता कौन राधे 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 तुमको पतित पावनी लखी राधे तुमको पतित पावनी लखी राधे ओ किए मन मानी पाप ओ किए मन मानी पाप राधे 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 मन माने पाप राधे 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 गुरु ने जनाया जाना तू ही मेरी राधे गुरु ने जनाया जाना ओ तू ही मेरी राधे तू ही मेरी राधे ओ तू ही मेरी राधे तू ही मेरी राधे गुरु ने जनाया जाना तू ही मेरी राधे गुरु ने जनाया जाना तू मेरी राधे माना नहीं तू ही मनवादे राधे 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 माना नहीं तू ही मनवादे राधे 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 ओ राधे राधे गोविंद राधे 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 गोविंद राधे 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 मेरा पर्दा माया तेरा योग माया राधे मेरा पर्दा माया तेरा योग माया राधे दोनों ही पर्दा हटा दे राधे 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 दोनों ही पर्दा हटा दे राधे 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 अगणित अधमन अपनाया राधे अगणित अधमन अपनाया राधे ओ अपनाया राधे अपनाया राधे ओ अपनाया राधे अपनाया राधे अगणित अधमन अपनाया राधे अगणित अधमन अपनाया राधे ओ अपना कृपालु को भी राधे 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 अपना कृपालु को भी राधे 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 ओ अपना कृपालु को भी राधे 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 अपना कृपालु को भी राधे 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 गोविंद राधे 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 गोविंद राधे 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 बोले राधा कृष्ण भगवान की जय. So as I said, let's understand now what surrender means, what we have to surrender. As this is greatly misunderstood. Many so-called gurus, teachers, spiritual teacher, guru, they say to the disciple, just say this when you go to sleep. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama Sarvam Shri Krishna Arpanamastu Ramar Paramastu. The Lord alone is my sole refuge. I take shelter in Him. I surrender to Him. Just say this before you go to sleep. But this is verbal surrender, words. Just like a person, he drinks all night long. Khub peete. And in the morning he begs for forgiveness from God, from Bhagavan. One of the greatest sin. There are 5 Mahapap. Means greatest sin. There are millions of sin. But there are 5 Mahapap. And the greatest one, drinking alcohol. Sharab. शाम को खूब सी पी, शाम को खूब सी पी, सुबह को तौबा कर ली, सुबह को तौबा कर ली. रिंद के रिंद रहे, रिंद के रिंद रहे, हाथ से जन्नत न गई, हाथ से जन्नत न गई. So in this way, not only does he not have to give up his bad habit of drinking, but he doesn't incur any sin also. Please forgive me, and that's it. Many people do sandhya, morning sandhya and evening sandhya. For a morning sandhya oblation, they take some water in the right hand and they keep it right here, close to the mouth here, and they say this mantra: Suryascha ma manyuscha manyupatayascha manyukratebhya papebhyo rakshantam yadrata papamakarsham manasa vacha hastabhyam padbyam udarena Shishnaratis tadavalumpatu Yat kinchit duritam. After saying this mantra, the water is in the hand, the right hand, you take it and throw it to the back like this. What is the monk saying? O Lord, whatever sin, pap, I have committed during the night, with my hand, feet, mouth, or any other sense organ, let it be washed away. The throwing of the water symbolizes washing the sin. For the evening sandhya, one word is changed, so night becomes day. Yat dahana papamakasham manasa vacha hastabhyam padbhyam mudarena shishna, etc. And then again the water is thrown to the back. In other words, my Lord, whatever sins I have committed during the day, with my hand, feet, nose, mouth, or any other sense organ, let it be washed away. This kind of funny, jokey surrender is not going to work. God does not care about words. There's a saying, the kingdom of God is not in words. Bhagavan doesn't look to see what you say, whether you can speak Sanskrit, Hindi, English, French, Spanish, Italian. Bhagavan doesn't have a language problem. He has no thing with what you say. So if surrender is not to be done physically, ceremoniously, ritualistically, how to surrender? First we have to understand who or what is the performer of our action. Is it our hand, our feet, our mouth, nose, eye, ears, etc.? No, none of these. The Vedas give us the answer. Man eva manushyanam karnam bandha mokshayo. Brahma Bindu Upanishad, second mantra. Man, the mind. Ev, alone. Manushyanam, human beings. Karnam is the cause. Bandhan, of bondage. Moksha, liberation. The mind alone is the cause of bondage as well as liberation. The mind is the performer of the action. This is where we fail. We do all kinds of things physically. People say, read so many times, this Chalisa, that Chalisa, read Sundarkan so many times. Visit places of pilgrimage, marching. Do jap so many times, so many jap. And where the mind is, nobody is paying attention. And this is what Bhagavan is noting. All the responsibility lies with the mind. Everywhere, the whole Gita, man, the mind. Down to the last chapter. Manmana bhava madbhakta madjan mam namaskuru. Manmana. Attach your heart, your mind to it. Mind. Love me with what you love, with eye, ears, nose, with the heart, the mind. So the mind has to be surrendered. Shri Krishna makes it very clear in the Gita. Mayeva mana adhasya may buddhim niveshaya. Chapter 12, verse 8, Gita. Arjun, give your mind and intellect alone to me. I don't care about the physical sense organ. Surrender the mind, the intellect. Give the mind, intellect means surrender the mind, the intellect. When it comes to the scriptures, when it comes to the saint, to God, do not apply the mind and intellect. Just like when you go to school and the teacher says we're going to spell knife today, knife. So what do? The teacher says, you put on the board, put K first. K-N-I-F-E. Did anybody object and said, no, so you should put N first? K, knife? Nobody objected. We surrendered. And we eventually got a degree. You go to a doctor, you're sick, pain, fever, doctor say, okay, tests you, I'm giving this medicine to you, take 1 drop in water 3 times a day, 1 drop, egg boon. And you follow the instruction, you surrender to the doctor, you take the medicine accordingly, you get better. But somebody says, doc, 1 drop, look how big my body is. Give me the whole bottle 1 time, so I'll get better really quickly. The doctor will say, take him to the mental asylum, madhouse. First we have to cure him mentally, then we can cure him physically. So now we can solve that puzzle that Shri Krishna had given to Arjuna. What was the puzzle? Do not perform the action of fighting the battle. Do not perform the action of not fighting the battle, and fight the battle. Since the mind alone, God knows, pay attention here, God knows only our thoughts and ideas, where the mind is. Since the mind alone is the performer of the action, we have to attach our mind to God and perform our duty in the world. Bas. This is the whole Gita. Whole Gita. 18 chapters, 700 shlokas, small book. And this is all it's trying to tell us. You see, if the mind is attached to Shri Krishna, and we do our duty in the world, whether wrong, right, whatever, since Shri Krishna only is going to note where the mind is, we get the fruit of the mind, bhakti. We do not get the fruit of the physical action, whether right or wrong. I told you, the first day, if we make even one mistake in one swara, in pronunciation of the Vedic mantras, instead of getting benefit, we get harm. But if the mind is attached to Shri Krishna, and you say the wrong word, Valmiki could not say Ram. What a beautiful example. Valmiki was such a sinner, papi, he could not say Ram. Find anybody in the world, any language, and they can speak. They're not dumb. And they cannot say Rama, 2 syllable. You will not find such a person. Yet, Valmiki's heart was so dirty, he could not say Ram. So the Guru, Narad Ji said, okay, say Mara. You kill. Mara means kill. Say Mara. Ulatana. And Valmiki attained God because his mind was attached. Bhagawan did not know it was coming from here. So Shri Krishna says in Gita, the whole Gita, 1 shlok, 1 line. Tasma sarveshu kaleshu mamanusmara yudhyacha. Chapter 8, verse 7, Gita. If there's anything else in the Gita, then tell me. This is the whole Gita. Shri Krishna says, Arjun, Tasma sarveshu, at all place, kaleshu, at all time. Har samay. Ma manusmar, remember me. Smaran means remember. Think about me. Attach your heart, your mind to me. Bhakti. And you are Kshatri, fight the war. Do your duty. So bhakti plus karma, duty, that is called karma yoga. Karma alone will give heaven swarg. if done correctly, otherwise you go to hell. But if we are bhakti to karma, and all the karma is wrong, we go to Bhagavan. Even if all is wrong, is right, is right. Because we are going to get the fruit only of the bhakti. Because the heart, the mind is attached to Shri Krishna. We go to Golok. This is the true meaning of karma. Many people say all chanting about karma yoga. Duty plus bhakti. Karma plus bhakti. That is karma yoga. This will give us God realization. We become free from Maya. Maya pitamano buddhir mame vaivasa sanshayam. Second line, same shlok, chapter 8, verse 7. Arjun, if your mind and intellect is attached to me like that, then you will certainly come to me. There's no doubt about that. Shri Krishna is given guarantee. Now, the question may be asked, how do we attach our mind to God every moment? We have to work, we have so much things to do. Just think about Bhagwan all the time, impossible, man. I can't even think about him for a few minutes. So Jagadguru Tam, Shri Kripalu Mahaprabhu is given the method. My Guru, Jagadguru Tam Shri Kripalu Mahaprabhu, the fifth, only the fifth, original Jagadguru and topmost, Jagadguru Tam. He says, let's suppose him, you're working in an office or anywhere, restaurant, anywhere, or you're in school even, and you look at the time, it's now 10 a.m. in the morning. That time you just think for a moment, one moment, Krishna is here with me, Guru is here. Just think for a moment, Shri Krishna is here, he's everywhere. You can put him, sit on the table, put it in the air, anywhere. Do not do Roopdhyan, just think for a moment. You're not doing sadhana. People, you scratch your hair, people clear their throat, people look at the watch. Nobody asks, question anybody, why are you looking at the watch? Why you scratch your hair? Why you clear the throat? So for that moment, you just think, Krishna is here looking at me, he's with me, yes. And continue doing your work. Then when it's 11 o'clock again, you think, for a moment, he's here, yes, he's still here. And you continue working. Every hour, you think, for a moment only, he's here and you do your work. When that becomes automatic, apne aap ho jate hain. You don't have to make an effort. In the beginning, you will have to. People try all kinds of things and they fail still. Every hour, it happens automatically. Then decrease the time to every half an hour. Every half an hour. When that becomes automatic, then again decrease the time to every 20 minutes. When that happens by itself, every 10 minutes, eventually, every moment you will think about Shri Krishna. This is the method. But we start with 1 hour. That will take a lot of time. Don't think I'm going to do one day and I'll be okay. Finish. I practice every hour. No. Next day you forget everything. Ooh, 3 hours passed and I didn't remember. So we have to practice a lot of. Shri Krishna says in Gita, Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha grihyate. Chapter 6 verse 35. Abhyas, constant practice. We have to practice. So here Jagadguru Tam Kripalu Mahaprabhu is giving us the method, how we can do it. And Shri Krishna is, that's what he said. He says, Tasmat Sarveshu, at all places. Whether you're in the wrong shop, whether you're in the toilet, whether you're in the burial ground, whether you're at work, whether you're at school, all places. Tasmat Sarveshu. Kaleshu, at all time. Manusmara, remember me, think about me, have me in your heart. Bhakti, Ayudhyacha, your Kshatri, do your duty. Do your duty as a student, do your duty as a parent, do your duty as a child, as a husband, as a wife, do your duty. But with the heart and mind attached to Shri Krishna. That is the Karma Yoga. There's much more we'll hear some other time. Bole Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. So I had mentioned to you that today is the last day in this 3-day series. I'll give you an opportunity if you have any question to ask any question today. Alright, so it's now open to you. The floor is open. I don't know if anyone sent, we'll ask you to take a copy of the code and you can send a question. Did anybody send any question? Or if you have any question, just raise your hand. Alright, so there's 2 people here. Let's pass the mic. He's holding the mic, this guy. Alright. Yeah.
Swamiji, I get often confused by this, that Krishna says that keep your mind in me and do your actions, good, bad, he doesn't note. So, do we take liberty to do bad?
No. It's not a case of taking liberty, but the thing is that it's impossible to do 100% cut. And he's talking mainly about Vedic rites and rituals, Varnashram Dhan. There are many rules and regulations, right? That if you make a slightest mistake, 80,000 mantras in Vedas, only karma kanda. Nobody can do. Worse in this Kali Yuga, nobody can do. So we'll make a lot of mistake. Look there, Varna means 4 Varna, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Varna. Ashram means stages in life, Brahmacharya, celibacy, not students, celibacy. Grihasti, householder's life. Vanaprast, semi-retired, forest dweller. And sannyas, complete renunciate. Now, what a Brahman, Brahmachari is supposed to do, what a Grihast Brahman is supposed to do, Vanaprast Brahman is supposed to do, sannyas, and same for all the Varna. So there are so many rules and regulations. Nobody can do impossible. This is a Kali Yuga. Right? So that's what it means. That there are so many rules and regulations nobody can do. Right? So we're doing wrong things all the time. Because we can't follow the rules and regulations. But if your heart, your mind is attached to Shri Krishna, then Shri Krishna doesn't care about that. This is what he said. Take shelter in me, surrender to me. Your mind's attached because he's noting where the mind is, that's all. So that's what it means, okay? Because there are so many rules and regulations. Thousands and thousands. We can't do. Don't even think about it. Kali Yuga Yoga and Jagya Jnana can't do in this Kali Yuga. Impossible. She wanted to ask. Karishma.
Radhe Radhe Swamiji.
Radhe Radhe.
Yeah. So my question is, Swamiji, because there's a lot of, this is a dark age era of Kali, right? So we get to see in the news, we get to see in other countries, we get to see in our own country, there's a lot of murders and crimes ongoing. And then while we are performing our daily actions, like how do we, while we are meditating on Shri Krishna, even in our workplace, because I work in a hospital, so I see a lot of deaths, I see a lot of emergency cases, and I think it's very sensitive also. But at the same time, I try to attach my mind to Shri Krishna. So when I see the news also, like, how do I not let this impact?
So everything is happening according to God's, this is all a thing that is, we are getting the fruits of our action. This is a divine law. This is an unbreakable law. Avashyameva bhoktavyam kritam karma shubha shubham Mahabharata. The scriptures makes it very clear. We have to bear the fruits of our good action as well as bad action. Now, but we don't know what we have done, right? You see somebody is very sick, or somebody has shot them or something, right? Now in that past life, when they had human form, they have rotated in many different form, but when it was in the human form, supposing they had murdered people, right? Killed children, murdered people, they did all kind of wrong things. If you know such a person who is doing so wrong action, you will want to kill him yourself. And in this life now, he's getting the fruit of that past action, you're feeling very sorry. Right? And let's suppose you were there when he was doing the wrong action. You yourself might want to kill him. Right? But now that he's suffering, you're feeling so bad. Okay? But he's only getting the fruits of his action. So when we see these things, we have to get our mind. That's why philosophy is so important. Right? When we see suffering, we see pain, everyone is enjoying the fruits of their past action. God is not blind. God is not, it doesn't cause injustice. He's a supreme God judge. He says very clearly in the Gita, Samoham sarva bhuteshu name dveshosti na priyaha. Chapter 9, verse 29, Gita. Neither is anyone dear to me, nor is anyone hateful. I look at everyone equally. Samadarshi, right? I'm a supreme God judge. He judges, right? Now in the world, judge can make mistake. Sometimes an innocent person gets hanged, and sometimes the guy who committed the murder, he got free. Because he has a lot of money, he can get false witness, he can pay a good lawyer. So the judge in the world make mistake, but the supreme Shri Krishna cannot make mistake. I am the judge, I am the lawyer, I am the witness. He doesn't ask somebody to go and be witness. He's sitting in our heart and he's taking note every moment. He's a sakshi, the witness. Right? Wait. Let me finish. So he's a witness. So when we see all of this, if we have knowledge, and then secondly, soul Atma doesn't suffer, doesn't die. No? Na jayate mriyate va kadachin nayam bhutva bhavitava na bhuyah ajo nityah shashvatuyam purano nahanyate hanyamane sharire. The soul doesn't take birth, nor does it die, nor having come into existence does it cease to be, because it is unborn, eternal, and most ancient. It is not destroyed even when the body is destroyed. What takes birth? What dies? Body. I'm not body. So when we see that and we think, oh, because we have ignorance, we do not know that he didn't die. Body died. He's not body. Right? So when this knowledge gets firm, then it becomes easy. That's why that knowledge is so important. True knowledge. And this knowledge Guru gives. The true Guru, the saint. We don't get it by reading Gita by ourselves. We just get more confused. Alright? Because we can't understand this divine words. So we go to the true Guru, the saint, and he gives the knowledge. Once that gets firm in us, everything in life becomes easy. Because we understand why it's happening. Alright? So this knowledge is very important. Alright? Yeah. Next.
Online.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's more than 10.
10 questions? Alright, go ahead. Ask quickly.
Should we ask if anyone has a question here? Because those people are available. Has anyone put their question here? If you have put in, then you can directly ask, because there are 10 questions which has been put online.
Just ask it.
Okay.
Go ahead.
One is how to overcome regret.
How to come?
How to overcome regret.
Regret. Look, the thing is that we make mistakes all the time. Right? What is gone is gone. There's a saying in English, do not cry over spilled milk. Right? Meaning, when something has happened, it's finished. If you cry about it, it's not going to make it better. Alright? So we live in the present. We don't know what's happening in the future. So we live in the present. Right? When something has happened, yes, I made a mistake. Accept you made a mistake. Right? Repent for it, but you can't fix it. Right? Try not to make it happen again. That's all. Alright? Learn from it. Learn from our mistakes. Alright? If we just keep regretting and thinking that doesn't fix anything. Alright? Next question.
What is daily rituals, puja necessary, and what is the significance of this?
These things, look, all the Vedas and all the scriptures, this world has to go around, right? The world has to go around. So for the world to go on, many things are written. At least, look, not everybody wants to do bhakti. Not everybody wants to love God. Very few. If you all keep moving, you'll disturb me. Right? You've got to sit down quiet. Very few have a yearning, a longing for God. Most people just want to enjoy the world and have a good time. They will not do anything. So the scriptures, they put greed. Low, greed. That if you do this, you will get this. If you do that, you will get that. So at least people will do something. Right? At least they will, and the world will go on. You will respect your elders, the world will go on smoothly. But that's not the most important thing is bhakti, right? To love God, to meditate on God, to chant the divine name and meditate, shed tears. But not everybody can do that. They haven't reached yet. So at least they will do something, and slowly, they may find themselves in the right position, in the right place, and get the right knowledge and realize, oh, that's all that is really not so important. This is important. How much love I have for God. How much my heart is attached to Him. Right? So all these things are written just for the world to go on. It's agreed. Right? That at least people will do something. Next question.
What is the difference between Dvait and Advait? Is there a conflict between these two?
Right. Dvait and Advait, look, it means the thing is one is not as dualism, one is non-dualism. Right? There's a kind of a conflict. In non-dualism, the person who are following that path, they're basically saying God is only formless. Right? One philosophy. Secondly, that the world we see around us is an imagination of the mind. It's not real. So the non-dualist says, these are the biggest thing they say. One is that everything we see is an imagination of the mind. We're just imagining all this, right? And secondly, that God is only formless. The dualist, on the other hand, says no. God is both with form as well as without form. Way the same. So God is both with form as well as without form. So the dualist is more correct. And he's also saying that the world we see around us is real. Why? Because God created the world and God is real. Satya bhutani jatani sthavarani cha. Mahabharata. It says that the world we see around us is real because God created the world and God is real. Right? What we are looking for in the world is false. So that's how Shri Maharaj Ji, Kripalu, Jagadguru, Kripalu Mahaprabhu reconcile. So there's a great deeper philosophy than what is being actually said, is that there's an inner world and an outer world, a subtle world and a gross world. There's a world of the mind that the mind creates, and there's a world that Bhagwan created. The world that Bhagwan created is real. It's not false. The world we create in the mind, that world is false. All right? So how to reconcile, and that will take a long time. Basically, this is the thing about dualism, non-dualism, in a short way. Next question.
God wants our soul to be one with Him, and also wants to be with God. Then why is there this illusion of Maya, which is also under God, but it's stopping us from being one with God?
Yeah, well, we don't want to be with God. We want to enjoy the world. Anyhow, the thing is that this has been from beginningless time. Look, the souls, this mantra in the Vedas, Dva Suparna Sayuja Sakhaya Samana Briksham Parikasva Jate Tayuranya Pipalam Swadat Nashnan Nanyu Abhijakashiti Shweta Shrutaro Upanishad chapter 4 verse 6. This is a position. We have turned our backs to God from beginningless time. Jivatma This is individual soul, Paramatma, Bhagavan. Both are sitting in the heart. Both are here. Right? Soul is in Bhagavan. But this is a position. So from beginningless time, there's no beginning. Somebody was asking me last time, where does things start? If there's a starting, there'll be an end. Right? So it's very difficult. Certain things we just have to accept. There's certain knowledge, even a little child can understand certain knowledge until he reaches university. If he were to understand university knowledge that a little baby is impossible. Right? So even in material world, material knowledge cannot be understood by everyone. Then how can we expect to understand divine knowledge with material intellect? When our intellect becomes divine, certain knowledge will become clear, or as our bhakti increases. Otherwise, in the beginning, we just have to accept certain things. That this is eternal. From beginningless time, we have turned our backs away from God. Right? And that's why we are suffering. Then Guru comes along and says, this is where Guru is most important, and reminds us that the happiness we're looking for, we're looking in the wrong place. We're looking out there. And it's right here. All we have to do is make a right about turn, left about turn, and you'll attain it. But that only happens when we meet a true Guru, a true saint, and we believe in him. Somebody may say, okay, we have not met saint. From uncountable lifetimes, we have met uncountable saints. But because of Abhiman, ego, we were not willing to accept them as saint, and we didn't listen to them. We didn't follow their instruction. Right? We always get this opportunity to meet a true Guru. But are we willing to accept him as Guru, as a saint? Are we willing to accept that only he knows what's right for me? Are we willing to let go of this ego, this Abhiman, this pride? Then we will benefit. Next question.
This one is, I would like to know more about anger and tolerance. How can we control anger and develop tolerance without others taking advantage?
Okay, if you do true sadhana, bhakti, under the guidance of a true rasik saint, we cry for God, we shed tears for God, the heart purifies. Spiritual power will come. That's the only way. Not chanting Mahamantra, not chanting Radhe Radhe, doing puja. When we shed tears of selfless love, I've spoken about that before, right? And I'll go into it again. We have a few more lectures coming up. The heart, the mind has to be made pure. When we shed tears of selfless love for God, for Guru, we meditate, we shed tears of selfless love, the heart, the mind purifies. We get spiritual power. And all these things will start getting less and less. That's the only way. There's nothing like anger management class and all these things. I will not get angry. Really? Impossible. So spiritual power. And that comes through bhakti. When we shed tears of selfless love for God. The heart will purify. We'll get spiritual power through Guru's grace, and all these things will get less and less until eventually all will go. All right, yeah, next one. No more? Maybe it's finished?
Maybe.
All right.
I think some is like answered already.
All right, no problem. Bole Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. Before we go on to Aarti, is there anyone, to announcement first, is there anyone by chance here still who may have a question? Very quickly, one last chance. I put somebody in the back. All right. Come a little bit forward so everyone can hear.
I understand that we need to bear the fruit of all our karma, but is there a way we can clear karma maybe? Because like if we've done our past life, we don't know what that negative karma is. So is there a way we can...
Yeah, Shri Krishna said it in the last chapter of the Gita, I mentioned it. The moment we completely surrender to Shri Krishna, he says, Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo. Uncountable sins we have committed in uncountable lifetime. The moment we surrender to Shri Krishna, he takes a match and lights it, and that infinite storehouse is burnt up. Only when we surrender. Otherwise, impossible. If you subtract infinite from infinite, it remains infinite. It doesn't get less. So only when we completely surrender, that's Shri Krishna's condition. The moment we completely surrender to him, that infinite storehouse of sin, which is stored in the heart, is called Sanchitpa. Immediately he destroys it. That's his condition. That's the only, nothing else.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Radhe Radhe.
Thank you very much, Swamiji, for amazing first two series. So far, Swamiji has covered first series, Transforming the Mind, and today is the last day of second series, which was on Karma Yoga. Now, Swamiji's next series is starting day after tomorrow on Friday. That will be at the Arya Samaj level 3. That will be at the Arya Samaj level 3 at same time, 7:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. Tomorrow is rest day, but many of us has to go to Arya Samaj and do the setup there. That's why tomorrow, one day is the rest day in between these two series. This will be 23rd and 24th 2-day series, which is coming next, Importance of Remembering God. And after this, on next Monday, we have Janmashtami celebration. So lots of things which have been lined up. The draft plan is ready. It will be shared soon with you from the WhatsApp, and we will also share in Arya Samaj. There are so many things which you will. It is our Lord's birthday after all. So there will be Abhishek, cake cutting, cultural programs, Kirtan, Sankirtan with Swamiji, and obviously the Dahi Handi, yes. And obviously the discourses by Swamiji, the importance of Janmashtami and everything. So that is the
Dancing also.
Dancing also, yes. So that is the event definitely not to be missed. Yes, it will be starting on Monday, 6 p.m. to all the way till 12 midnight, and more details we will share on the next series. So
let's all stand now for Aarti. We'll be doing Aarti of Shri Radha Krishna and Guru, so take the opportunity to come into Aarti if you'd like to. It's a great lesson.
आरती प्रीतम प्यारी Jagadguru Guruvar Ji, Gaon Mile Aarti Rasik Varsi, Gaon Mile Aarti Rasik Varsi, Guru Padana Kamali Chandrika Prakash, Yake Ur Basi Take Mohan Samana, Yake Mama Samana Prakash, Sake Mare Maya Mohan Samana.
श्रीमद सद्गुरु सरकार के जय, वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय, राधा रानी की जय, सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय, श्री कृपालु धाम की जय, श्री राधा कुंज की जय जय श्री राधे, जय जय श्री राधे, जय जय श्री राधे. Please be seated, everyone. What we normally do this time, we ask everyone to come up and take darshan. Darshan means taking blessings of God and Guru, taking blessing of the arti that we just performed, taking the blessing into our heart. So we come and take the blessing. darshan, and then we come to me and I'll be giving prasad to you. And then following that, if you haven't eaten as yet, we do have prasad, bhojan prasad in the back. If you'd like to, please partake of that also before leaving. And do join us at the Arya Samaj Center for next 2 days. And then a very special invitation, of course, for Janmashtami, which is Monday, 26. We do have an exciting and wonderful program coming up. We'll be sharing more details with you. Please come up now for darshan and prasad.